Hello Virgo and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of it. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. These energies very well might be swapped. So if you end up resonating more with the energy to my right than to my left, just know that is totally fine and totally normal. The point of these readings is for you to take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. As always, I've already gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, but we have a different tarot deck that we'll be diving into for each side of this connection. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Virgo. You, on your side of this connection, have boundaries with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This connection was a pretty big lesson for you, like a karmic lesson on boundaries. I feel like specifically, like making sure that you are standing up for what it is that you deserve and need in love and in relationships, and settling for nothing less than that, because that is the only way that we will attract the relationships in our life that resonate with our soul. I feel like this connection maybe started, and because when you look at this person's energy, they have shift with the Lovers in reverse. So I feel like when this connection started, it was one way. And then I feel like this person's energy towards you kind of shifted. Now I feel like that's because they got a little spooked, because the Lovers in reverse energy is an energy of not seeing their own worth. And oftentimes when, someone doesn't really see their own worth, they'll sabotage in some way, either by allowing themselves to, you know, to accept less than what they deserve, or sabotaging a connection that is what they deserve because they don't know how to accept it. So I feel like this person's on that end of things, like sabotaging a connection because they don't know how to accept love into their life because they don't feel deserving of it on some level. Now, in between this connection, you have power with the Empress in reverse. This connection in this middle section is really about what is the purpose of this connection, and how should you move forward to be in alignment with your higher self. And so this is really teaching you how to take your power back, because this Empress in reverse energy, Virgo, is you not being used to putting yourself first. You not being used to standing up for what it is that you deserve and are worthy of in connections. Now, maybe you do with some people, but maybe this person in particular was a challenge for you because you did have more of a fear of losing them than you have had with other people that you've set boundaries with in your life. Because when we set a boundary with someone, that's basically our way of saying, if you don't respect this boundary, then I'm not going to be able to continue to invest in this connection. And there is a risk of losing that person whenever you do set a boundary. Now, I had someone comment on my channel once and they said, how did you know, like, my current partner, who is hands down the love of my life, was like meant for me, or like, how did I know he was the one, basically? And I've realized, not just with him, but with other connections in my life that have aligned with me, it comes down to, if you set a boundary and you stand up for what you deserve, and the people in your life meet that boundary and respect that boundary and give you, are like, yeah, absolutely, like, I'll show up for you the way that you need, then those are the people that are supposed to be in your life. When you set a boundary with someone who either says you're asking for too much, or gets reactive to that boundary, or gets defensive, that's typically someone who benefits from you not having boundaries in the first place. And therefore, that person is usually not, doesn't really align with what it is that you're fully deserving of. But boundaries are the best way for the universe to communicate to you whether or not someone is meant to be in your life or not. But let's start here, Virgo, by looking at your side of this connection, clarifying boundaries with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. This is Virgo's side of this connection to the person they're dealing with. Virgo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Hang on, I didn't like the way that came out. This is Virgo's side of the connection. It was a Six of Swords, so you could be like in the process of moving on. If it was supposed to come out, it will again, but let me see. This is Virgo side of this connection to the person they are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. This is Virgo side of this connection. Okay. The Five of Cups. Yeah, you're disappointed with this connection, Virgo, and I feel like you have every right to be, because, even if we do set boundaries with someone and they don't respect it, it's like that concept of like, it's okay to feel sad for doing the right thing or doing what's best for you, because that does come with a level of grief associated, right? When we lose anyone in our life. Now, I don't feel like this connection is currently together. It could be, but like there's a separation between the two energies, but I don't feel like this connection is like currently like together. Um I feel like I feel like you're trying to come to some sort of new beginning. Like you're trying to step into like a new life here. But I feel like the energy of this person is still very much impacting your energy, whether like you like it or not. All right, this is Virgo's side of the connection. Virgo side of this connection. The Six of Cups in reverse with the World in reverse. So this is something karmic, a cycle that has started in your past and has affected you ever since. I feel like we're just going to get more on that throughout the reading, but like it's almost like this connection was in a way reliving something that you went through in your past. Like if you experienced abandonment when you were a kid, then this connection reflected that same kind of energy back to you. Or if you experienced like betrayal, then this connection probably made you feel that way. Or if you just experienced like abuse as a child, this connection could have reflected that back to you. Like whatever the case was, and this connection was a pretty karmic experience it was like a repeat of the cycle that started in childhood. Virgo side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. Virgo side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. This is for Virgo side of this connection. This is for Virgo side of this connection. Virgo side of the connection to the person they're dealing with. Oh my goodness. Whew. Okay. Seven of Swords, Page of Pentacles, and the Devil. Oh, look, and there's the Hierophant and the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So there is an attachment that exists between you and this person. And that attachment stems from that karmic cycle. So it's very much all tied together here. You struggle to believe, Virgo, that you're ever going to be aligned with the person or people that love you in a healthy way. You struggle to believe that those people are ever going to be in your life. They're ever going to find you. And it's because you feel on some level, because of what you have experienced, that love equals like pain or sacrifice, or if you are standing up for yourself, you run the risk of no one ever meeting you at that level, like reaching your standards. And that belief is because you've never experienced it before. And I certainly don't think this person showed it to you. Now, that is typically why we do get attached to people that remind us of our past, is because, first of all, we're attracted to them because of the karmic aspect, right? Because when you're dealing with someone that reflects back to you energy that you experienced in your past from other people who made you feel unlovable, you look for that person's love because on a like subconscious level, you believe that if that person loves you and shows up for you in the way that the people in your past who didn't love you, um, then you would be healed. And that's a misconception that we have, where we think that um, the people who remind us of our past traumas, if they love us, then our past traumas will be healed. But that is typically where attachment and karmic connections stem from. And I definitely feel like this was that. Or at the very least, there is a pretty intense karmic cycle that exists between these two people. This is Virgo's side of this connection. Oh, that's what too. Two of Pentacles in reverse, Two of Swords in reverse. And there's that World again. This was a pretty one-sided connection. I feel like you gave a lot to this. I feel like you possibly kind of gave it everything you had. And it feels like this person didn't really give you back the same love you gave. And the one-sided aspect is what you're used to. There's some sort of one-sided aspect to connections that you're used to. Feeling like you're always the one to put in the effort, you're always the one to initiate conversation, or if you're dealing with like friends, then like to initiate like hanging out or to reach out to see how the other person's doing. Like you're always the one putting in the effort, and I feel like you're very used to people not really repaying you with that kind of effort. And this connection in some way, shape, or form was a pretty big reflection of that. Now, I also feel like you, because you've never experienced it, you don't believe it's possible. The reciprocation and the healthy forms of love that your soul is wanting for you. So there's it's a big old mess, Virgo. But I can certainly empathize. I have been there. All right, Virgo, let's look further at your side of this connection. This is for Virgo's side of this connection. Nine of Wands, Hangman. You are coming to the end of a cycle. The closer you get to the end of a cycle, the harder it gets. The more that you will feel worn out, exhausted, the more you'll want to slip back into old patterns. Maybe you did start setting boundaries with this person. Maybe you did walk away. Maybe you did choose yourself. And as you near the end of the cycle, those decisions might start to be tested in a way. Because this Ten of Wands in reverse energy is the need to stop bearing the burdens of other people. And if this person, sabotages the people that love them, pushes people away, runs from love, all of that, that is not your burden to bear. And you are not put here on this earth to fix anybody, right? And so being able to recognize that and saying, I'm the only person here that I have to fix. And it's not even fixing yourself, it's just healing. There's nothing wrong with you exactly as you are. You're not broken. But you are the only person here that you have to heal. And as you heal and you step into your power and you start to realize what it is that you're capable of and deserving of, and how powerful your energy really is, you will start to attract the people into your life that see you through that lens. When you're dealing with someone that struggles to see their own worth, such as this person does, and therefore they sabotage connections. Um, they can project that onto you, where you start to question your own worth too. So your feelings of not knowing fully what you're deserving of is being projected on you by this person not knowing what they're fully deserving. It's just happening in different ways. It's the mirror. All right, Virgo's energy toward this person. I said Capricorn. Virgo's energy toward this person, please. This person brought up, like, you're dealing with a lot of your fear, doubt, and your insecurities when it comes to love because of this person's actions, inactions, just because of the nature of this connection in general. And it feels like those insecurities and those fears have kind of been put in like a spotlight. And a lot of it comes down to you not feeling deserving to stand up for what you're deserving of. In this deck, there is a card. Let's see if it's on top by some. Oh, I thought that was the one. There's one that talks about boundaries. Just thought maybe it would be right on top for me. But I pull this in the extended, but in the card it talks about in our relationships, it's important for us to know what we are deserving of and what we are, like, it words it a lot better. It's like what we are deserving of and the feelings that we have, and honor the way that we feel in connections. If we feel like we're being taken advantage of, or we feel undervalued, or whatever the case is, like honoring those feelings and believing that we are deserving of them so much so that we stand up for that. That's what boundaries really means. Is it's not, and you can do that with love too, right? Is it's just knowing so deeply that you're deserving of good things that you're willing to stand up for that and lose the people in your life who don't see that. Now, on the flip side, when you struggle to believe you're deserving of love, the love that you desire, because of what you've experienced, because remember, you've internalized your experiences as truths about your reality, and those truths about your reality have become your reality. And that's not your fault. Your trauma is not your fault. But if you've internalized, based on what you've experienced, that you're not deserving of love, well, then it's going to be difficult for you to set boundaries with the people that really bring up those insecurities of not feeling deserving of love. It's going to be difficult to set boundaries with them. And I feel like that's kind of what's going on here, is because you might set a boundary and then you might start to second guess yourself and be like, well, was I wrong for that? Am I asking for too much? I didn't mean to hurt their feelings, or like all of these reasons that you start to create to why you shouldn't set boundaries. And that's your old limiting belief system coming to the surface and saying, hey, you're not deserving of love, when the truth is actually the complete opposite of that. All right, let's look at this person's energy toward you, Virgo. Have shift with the Lovers in reverse. This is this person's energy toward Virgo, please. This person's energy toward Virgo, clarifying shift with the Lovers in reverse. One more. This is this person's energy toward Virgo, please. Ooh, that's some, okay, my head hurt from pulling that card. That's some intense energy. This person is wildly chaotic and all over the place. I mean, 5 of Wands, 7 of Cups, 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Like, very unstable, possibly very defensive, thrives in chaos. Those people that kind of like set fires just to like watch it burn. I'm not laughing at this person. It's just a funny analogy. It's kind of what I feel here. Like, they're really all over the place, and maybe like they thrive in drama, so that's, they have to create it. People like that are usually pretty deeply hurt. and their life, has been so chaotic that they don't know how to. Okay, these cards are literally making my head hurt. But it's like they're so chaotic that I feel like they pulled you into that. I feel like they pulled a lot of their chaos, and maybe they were really good at hiding it at first, and that's why you were, that maybe there was that initial attraction, and then like this person maybe pretended to be someone they weren't, or hid certain aspects of themselves, and then they had this shift. It's like that. It happens always like right around that 3-month mark of dating someone. Could happen a little longer. I feel like it's 3 to 6 months. Like then like who they really are comes out, and you're like, whoa. Um, and I'm not putting a timeline on it for you. Whenever it happened is when it happened. But I do feel like this person had a shift where like all of that came out. This person's energy, and this doesn't just have to be about romance. So take it as it resonates. But this person's energy toward Virgo. Person's energy toward Virgo. Oh my gosh. I don't know what they're going through, but oh my gosh. Okay. A big thing that's coming through is the way that they communicate is incredibly emotional. And I don't really know if they know how to communicate. That doesn't mean that they don't know how to speak. They might be very good with their words, but that doesn't mean they're communicating. Communication is being able to be vulnerable, have an open heart, communicate how they feel, be open to hearing how you feel without getting defensive, and then coming to some sort of a solution together, right? That's communication. It's a two-way street. And it takes the ability to understand and process, how the other person is feeling. It takes a level of empathy. And I feel like this person, because they're in such a chaotic state, I feel like they are always on the defense. And so maybe that's why you stopped setting boundaries. Maybe you tried to set boundaries, or you never even tried to set boundaries because you knew they were like a ticking time bomb almost in some way. I feel like their emotional energy toward this has to do, and like their chaotic energy that they have toward this connection has to do with the fact that I feel like this is probably a karmic kind of relationship for them too, or karmic connection, or the karmic cycle going on too, where their feelings, their insecurities, and their feelings of not being lovable, I mean, even with the lovers in reverse, right? Like those are being triggered for them too, just in a different way. Because I definitely feel like both of you guys are struggling with feeling you're deserving of love, but the way that it has manifested into your movement, choices, and decisions has been different. This person's energy toward Virgo. This person's energy toward Virgo. Yeah, because there's the Nine of Swords. I mean, right there. Their fears, doubts, that's exactly what I just said. Their fears, doubts, and insecurities have gotten heavily triggered by this. They came up too. I said that over here with the Nine of Swords for you, I believe. Right? Yeah, I think we saw the Nine of Swords. Doesn't matter. But anyway, they're very much dealing with being very triggered in this too. Now, you can understand the reason I like to talk about this three sides of the story thing, so that you can understand their perspective and understand that yes, they are all over the place, and maybe they're running from the connection, or they sabotage the connection, or they're unkind to you, or whatever the case is. But I don't say that to provide like a level of like false hope, or I want to keep anyone attached to unhealthy connections. That's not my goal. My goal is to bring this forward so that you can understand that this person's actions or inactions or words or whatever toward you have nothing to do with your worth. This person's inability to show up and love you like you deserve has absolutely nothing to do with what you are deserving of or what you are, the kind of love that you will be able to attract into your life. What it does have to do with is their own feelings of being unlovable that they have projected onto you. And so understanding that can be really freeing. It doesn't necessarily make the healing easier. It's still painful, and I can understand that, but that level of understanding can certainly provide a little bit of solace whenever you are going through the healing and you're going through those deeply triggered moments. This person's energy toward Virgo. My sound is off, so I wonder if my boyfriend left his phone here. This person's energy toward Virgo. Oh, it might be his work phone. This person's energy toward Virgo. They wholeheartedly have ran from the love in this. Now, it's like, and that's what I felt from the beginning, is it's like there was this shift. Something changed in them. Their behavior towards you or words towards you or something. It shifted, and it's because they got spooked, but not because you did anything wrong, but because they don't feel deserving of love, and so they're acting how they typically act to protect themselves. And their energy of protecting themselves is being internalized by you as they don't love me or they don't see my worth or my value or whatever the case is, when it has nothing to do with you. You cannot love somebody into loving themselves. You can love somebody into creating a space for themselves to learn to love themselves. It is possible to heal in relationships, but I don't really feel like this person is doing a whole lot of healing. I feel like they're doing a whole lot of projecting. This person's energy toward Virgo. I can't believe their energy gave me a headache. This person, you're probably like, me too. This person's energy toward Virgo. Huh. You have empathy for people that struggle like this, that run from love. Because on a deep level, everyone desires love, right? Everyone is looking to love and be loved. Now, trauma and pain and suffering has caused, some people, I've been there myself, to push it away or sabotage it or hurt people because they've been hurt or whatever the case is, but it's all out of in the name of looking to be loved. And, if you've never really understood or felt loved before, then, who knows how that's going to manifest into your life. But why I'm saying that is I feel like it's hard because on a deep level, this person does have a desire for love. With the Nine of Cups, they do have this emotional wish fulfillment of love, of being in a loving, healthy connection. Now, I feel like maybe if that's the case, they need to do some healing, right? And learn why they push away love and why they run from it. I feel like until they stop projecting and start turning that, that mirror inward, then they're not going to be able to sustain a healthy connection with anybody. I'm not even just talking about romantically, because I feel like this person probably has trouble with their relationships in other capacities too. This person's energy toward Virgo. I'm not saying this is a bad person. I talked about this in readings in the past. The reason I like doing this is because I've been this person. I've been the person who's been hurt. I've been the person who did the hurting. I was the person who did the hurting until I was the person who got hurt. And then I woke up and started having to do a lot of healing. So I've been there, and I have a lot of empathy for people who are struggling in this way. But I can tell you from experience that having that be enabled won't make them change. Sticking around for someone who isn't willing to look within, take accountability, work on themselves, all that fun stuff, is only going to hurt you. And I can say that because I was this person before. All right, this person's energy toward Virgo. I don't say that like, obviously not proud of it, but I think that I wouldn't be the person I am today and able to have the relationships that I do today if I wasn't this person and didn't learn how to love myself. So it's possible. All right, this person's energy toward Virgo. This person's energy toward Virgo. Temperance with the Knight of Cups in reverse. Let's see what's going on here. Temperance with the Knight of Cups in reverse. And then the Seven of Cups with the Six of Cups. Yeah. I feel like you're very, and have tried to be, very patient with them in their times of being heavily triggered. But I feel like the more patient that you are with them, I can't tell if this feels up. I get the message, but you have the Empress in reverse, right? Same Empress in reverse, and then the Seven of Wands. It feels like it's upside down, but it came out upright. But it feels like it's the Empress in reverse and the Seven of Wands in reverse. The more patient you try to be with someone through their triggers. Now, that does not mean patience is absolutely key. Like, be patient with other people, but if someone repeats behaviors over and over again and you find yourself back in the same boat, you learn that unconditionally loving someone and accepting them for who they are is very different than unconditional tolerance. Just because this person is hurting does not mean that that is something that you have to put up with. For the long run. You can be there for them, absolutely, but don't let them make their burdens your problem. I feel like that's like super key. Boundaries, right? Boundaries are what's really coming through here. But you're also needing to take your power back a little bit, because I feel like, this person heavily triggers you and then maybe turns around and will be like, oh, I'm so sorry, like it won't happen again. But then the next day or the next week or even month, like they're doing the exact same thing. And it's just this conversation of, the more that someone uses their triggers as an excuse for their behavior, the more that you allow that to happen, the more you're enabling and you're saying, it's okay if you treat me this way because I'm going to continue to stay here. And that's a hard lesson to learn, right? And that's why I was talking about, like, if you enable this person's to kind of treat you that way, they're not going to change. People only change when they realize they need to. All right. I'm going to hop on over to the extended in just a second, where I have power with the Empress in reverse. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and I have advice card to pull at the end. But first, I know I won't shut up about this, but I have had some people tell me that they, hadn't heard about it until a recent video. So there might be some people out there who haven't heard about this. This is the summer workshop series, all about taking your power back, which is interesting because this is about taking your power back. It's happening starting June 30th, so a week from this Friday. And it is a 4-part series. It is $20 for all 4 sessions. It's $5 a session. It is a steal. It's ran by one of my friends / spiritual confidants / mentors, who is fantastic at what she does. And she will be opening up her lessons, if you will, her coaching to these workshops this summer. Any information on that, if that is something that speaks to you, I will be in them, because there will absolutely be stuff that I need to hear in there. But anything that, if that speaks to you, any information on that is in the description box of the video that I'm linking below. So at the top of the description box, there's going to be a link to another YouTube video. It's the announcement, the original announcement I made about that summer workshop series. Any information on it is in the description box of that, including how to register and her contact information in case you want to reach out to her pretty question. So you're not going to hear me shut up about this for a little bit. I'll be talking about it until it happens, but I do hope to see some of you guys there. And yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right. Bye, Virgo.